Hey guys, another video from the Anti-Nerd here, and today I'm bringing Juggernaut from the Gamerverse line, Marvel Legends by Hasbro. This is one of the latest releases. This is considered a mega deluxe figure. I'm also gonna compare with the previous regular figures. So this guy is heavy, super heavy. He's about 1 kilogram, I think would be between 2.5 and 3 pounds. I'm not sure, but here's the side of the packaging. Really dig this pixelated art style, and this figure is very expensive. The back, you can see that he's the only one that I have, comparing with the 2-packs, that he wins the battle. I think Gargantus might have won the battle too, but I did not grab Gargantus because he's super big, and I think it's also very expensive. As I was saying, this Juggernaut costs $64.99. He's already going for a little bit higher in the aftermarket because, as I could tell, of all the Gamerverse figures, this is the most looking for. People are getting it, and it's been sold out in a lot of places, sold out pretty quickly in most retail stores. So good luck finding him. Is it worth the $65? Is he really, the amount of plastic they put here, the amount of sculpt, is it really worth it compared to the regular Marvel Legends? I am not too sure. Maybe you won't agree with my opinions, but that's fine. I'm here to stand by them. As I said, he's pretty heavy. You have no idea until you feel it with your bare hands. The back, it's pretty much similar to all the other artworks from the 2-pack. Regarding accessories, it is pretty simple. He only comes with a set of extra hands and this power effect here for his mega punch, which, if you are collecting these figures mostly because of the Marvel vs. Capcom line, which is not my case. I am a Marvel comic book fan, as you can see in the background, and I think those versions, they look pretty good for comic book versions as well. Here's a more closer look to the hands, and I'll show in a bit the power effect. So the hands, they are way bigger than, let's say, your Maximum Hulk. They also have a lot of detail in the fingernails, and the veins are all painted with this more realistic tone, as if they're a little bit red, right? Because there's blood on the veins. And the fingernails, they impressed me, as well as the hand lines on his inner side of the hand. So first impressions regarding detail of the sculpt, yes, it is not bad. There is quite nice details here, but I do think that it's just a few accessories, and I don't know if that justifies completely the price, because for me this figure would have to be perfect to justify such a crazy amount. More than double than your average Marvel Legends. If you are collecting this for the Marvel vs. Capcom line and you're buying the Jada Toys Street Fighter, I think this power effect will look pretty good with them. So if you're considering getting this Juggernaut to build your Marvel vs. Capcom display, I know that in the game he is pretty big. In the cartoon, he's definitely not as big as this version, and the comic book is very debatable because there's a lot of artists that drew Juggernaut throughout the years. So let's take a look at the figure. First, I noticed that the arms are massive long. They are crazy long. It is, of course, a very big figure, but proportionally, these arms, they look a little too much exaggerated. They are almost as if they're touching the knees, which is not super realistic, but okay. Let's take a look at the head. He has no civilian head. His inner part of the head is attached to the helmet, so you cannot display him without the helmet. So if you want, you might be interested in getting the head from the previous Juggernaut release, which was the Colossus 2-pack. Right, so that one came with wounded head of Juggernaut. This one, it is a little rubby, made of rubber, the helmet. Like, it's not super hard. As I mentioned before, he has this vein painting on the arm and throughout his skin, which is pretty nice, gives a more realistic tone. This strap right here you can detach, so very cool. What I like about this figure on my first impressions is the color. I think they really nailed to go with less contrasted, less saturated colors with this Gamerverse line, because this is mostly portraits of the 90s. He has toe articulation, very happy that they brought this back again from the Toy Biz. It used to be a standard with the Toy Biz, but definitely not a standard with the Hasbro Marvel Legends. But yeah, the colors, they look very vintage to me. They look more faded. And let me show you the butterfly joints and how's the range. As I've been noticing, I do think that the range on the back is bigger than when you put the arms for the front part. So I think that's a thing I've been noticing not only on this figure but overall. The arms, they bend towards the back a little more than they bend forward, except of course Maximum Spider-Man, which those butterfly joints are just perfect. Please check it out, my review on the channel after you're done with this one. The torso articulation here has a very nice range and has also a cool detail of fabric, a nice texture. Other than that, he's a pretty smooth figure, not so much on the realistic side of his outfit, but this torso range, it is pretty good. It goes forward a lot and goes back a lot. He has no waist circulation regarding the rotation of his waist. It is static, and the cut on the thigh here, it's kind of like a personalized wavy effect. It's not super straight and neat as usually the cuts on the thigh are, but it definitely reminds me more of a Toy Biz, this one, because besides the toe articulation, he has this big ball joints on the thighs, very Toy Biz like. The range on the knees are just awful. If I'm not mistaken, the previous Juggernaut came with a double joint on the knees. It is, of course, considerably smaller, but it came with that, so it is possible to do that on bigger figures. He does not have a boot swivel, but he has a rotation on the knee right here, so you can rotate his lower side of the leg. And his boots, they have a very nice detail as well. There's some good things about this figure, and there's some things that are not as good. I think for the price, they could have definitely have included a civilian head, but I think they use the excuse of being a gamer version, right? So he has articulation similar to the Wolverine from Gamerverse. It is not double jointed. It is a simple articulation. He rotates on the upper side of the arm, but I just don't get it why they go with this, because I'm gonna show in a bit that Dragon Man, which is a very big figure, he has double joint articulation in both his elbows and his knees. But I understand that Juggernaut, it is a more thick figure than Dragon Man. So yeah, there's some cool things about Juggernaut, definitely. But for the price point, it is a little exaggerated as his proportions, right? So here's a side-to-side comparison with the Maximum Hulk. He is slightly taller than Maximum Hulk, and Maximum Hulk looks pretty skinny compared to him. Look at the difference of the arms. They are very different. Maximum Hulk has also a simple jointed elbow. However, he does have a double jointed knee, unlike the Juggernaut. But his legs, they are quite different size. Hulk is definitely on the smaller range. Here's a comparison toe to toe with the size of the feet, and here's a comparison of the back. Good decision that they didn't went with the rubber chest. I do think that Hasbro will give up on that idea pretty soon, considering it was not well received by the fans, right? So yeah, Juggernaut side to side with Hulk that has pins in the legs. Juggernaut here is totally pinless, and I attached the power effect. It gets pretty tight once you remove that metal part of his fist. You have to remove it so you can properly attach the power effect. However quality this may be, the power effect, I don't think it's enough accessories for the price point, and I'm gonna say that a lot considering that the price is just so crazy. It comes pretty much about $70, to be honest, if you pay retail price. And considering this is a very sold out figure, you might even have to spend a little more. So let's switch the hands here. When he has the open hands attached to him, his hands look even more massive. It is quite impressive because the size of the open hand is just giant. And here's a side-to-side comparison with the Maximum Hulk. You can see that's almost half the size. So yeah, Juggernaut would probably win this battle. So what I'm really interested in showing the comparison with Dragon Man. Dragon Man is one of my favorite figures of the year. I think this one deserves the more deluxe price because it's more like an obscure character, but he was also very, very well made. He has toe articulation, he's totally pinless. He has rotation in the torso, which is amazing, and double jointed elbows, and very nice texture, butterfly joints, double set of wings. His mouth opens. Amazing figure for the price point. But Juggernaut here, he is big, but I don't know, there's some stuff that I think they could have done with this price point. Here's a side-to-side comparison with the Wolverine from the Gamerverse. I don't think that Wolverine would stand a chance. If you've seen the cartoon, usually when Juggernaut's defeated is by Deus Ex Machina effect. So here's a side-to-side comparison with the Captain America from the Gamerverse. I attached this old shield here from the Marvel Cinematic Universe because this one has the straps, and look how nice it looks. You can also check my review on my channel about this 2-pack with Venom. That is probably my favorite 2-pack, but maybe I should do ranking of all. Here's Psylocke, very cool figure. A lot of people love her. One of the best female Marvel Legends out there. Here's Venom holding Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's adjust Venom for a bit. Side-to-side comparison. I really dig this Venom. Very happy with that Captain America Venom 2-pack. And here's Spider-Man from the Ultimate version. I don't think also he would stand a chance against this Goliath. He's huge. He is big. It would be very hard for Spider-Man to win against him. So the figure that I was surprised about the size was Omega Red there. And also Thanos, he doesn't look that small side to side with Juggernaut. Here's War Machine, also from the Omega Red 2-pack. Very nice War Machine. Unfortunately, he has pins. Please check my review of the War Machine and Omega Red figure. So as you know, Juggernaut is brothers with Professor X. Here's my House of X, Professor Xavier. If you want to know about this chair that I'm using, it is the Toy Biz one. I did a video complete unboxing and reviewing the old X-Men movie action figure from Toy Biz. I think this is the best chair out there. It is pretty cool, very interesting. I'm not sure if the Marvel Legends version is exactly the same. Here's also my custom Xavier. I'm using the House of X meditating head with a Matt Murdock Netflix body mode, which is a very cool body mode for neutral characters that wears a suit. So I'm gonna give Juggernaut a grade 8 out of 10. I think for the price point, which is extremely high, they could have included more accessories. They should have. And this figure's not also perfect. The simple joints on the arms and the knees, I don't think that's justifiable. The lack of accessories is also a problem, and the lack of a civilian head. However, I will say this is probably the best version of the character out there regarding Marvel Legends. And if you really want this character, maybe you should consider getting him. But if you just like the character and you think you can get a deal on the previous one, I think that's totally fine, because there's some people selling that old one for a cheaper price to get this new one, so that might be worth it. So please subscribe and like this video, and check out my previous videos, and stay tuned with the next reviews from the Anti-Nerd. Bye bye.